ribs are on the menu, and so that means I need to make a rub and a glaze for them. Now the glaze is going to be super simple, and the rub's going to be super simple. So let's get started on that rub first. Now, I'm making more than I'll need for these 3 racks of baby backs that we're going to be doing tomorrow, because we're going to season them today, put them in the refrigerator, smoke them up tomorrow. So there'll be plenty of rub left over after I season these. We're starting with a cup of kosher salt, a cup of a coarsely ground black pepper, a tablespoon of chili powder, and a tablespoon of smoked paprika. We'll call this our smoky chili rub. Let's get this mixed up in here. It'll also get mixed up more once I put it into its shaker bottle and give it a shake. All right, that's looking good. Let's get our ribs out here. So I have 3 racks of baby back ribs here. I think you can see this one's a little smaller than these 2, but it's really not going to matter, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut these in half, because we're going to be hanging these on the Hunsaker Drum Smoker. And I just really like hanging half racks rather than whole racks. There's far less of a chance of it getting too tender and falling with just the weight of half a rack. The other thing is we're just leaving the membrane on here. That gives a little extra strength on the back side when you're hanging ribs, and I've never found it to be a problem when I serve them after that. So let's go ahead and get these cut in half first. Get our little one here. We're going to go just about halfway, probably right here. I'm just using a kitchen scissors. Same thing on this one. Go about halfway. Thing here, kind of eyeball it. Put some of that smoky chili rub in a shaker. Let's get it on here. Got good surface moisture. I don't think we need a binder, so we're just going to start seasoning up. And we'll just move everybody around as we need to season them up. Get this little guy done first here. Get a little on the back, not too much. We have that membrane on there, but we want to give some. All right, these are looking good. What I want to do now is I want to get these up off the bottom of the tray and onto a rack. I like doing that because when you add rubs, especially with salt, the meat can sweat, and I don't want it sitting in the juices here if any develop. So I'm going to get the rack under here. Shift a few to make some room here so I can slide the rack under. All right, these are going in the refrigerator overnight, and we're going to move on to making our glaze. So for our glaze or barbecue sauce, whatever you want to call it, we're not starting from scratch. This is one of those glazes or barbecue sauces that are doctored up, and you start with a base barbecue sauce. I'm just using a plain old Sweet Baby Ray's as my base today. You can pick any barbecue sauce you want. I'm using this one because it is really just a basic barbecue sauce. And this is 18 ounces we're starting with today. Next up, we're adding a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. This brings a nice little tang to this. Our final ingredient, about a 1/4 cup of honey. I'm using this chaparral honey that I found, but you can use any honey that you want. I'm just going to eyeball about a 1/4 cup here. Now I'm just going to get in here with my whisk and slowly bring this together. That honey is going to take a little bit to mix in. We sort of thinned it out with the apple cider vinegar and thickened it up a little bit again with some honey. So just take your time here. Once it starts incorporating, you can speed up a bit. Let's get a little taste. That's really good. All right, I'm going to transfer this to a container. It's going to go in the refrigerator overnight, just hang out there. And tomorrow, when the time is right, we'll glaze the ribs with this. So next time I see you will be tomorrow out at the Hunsaker Vortex Drum Smoker. All right, the Hunsaker Vortex Smoker is up to temp. I'm actually going a little lower today, between 225 and 250 for these hanging ribs. Now I've got water in there in an absurdly large water pan. My smaller pans, I ran out. didn't even realize it. So I've got sort of a turkey roasting pan in there, a foil one. We're also burning hickory today. So let's go ahead and get our ribs on. And I put the hooks about 2 or 3 bones down. I'm feeling fairly confident today. I don't think I need to double hook these. All right, let's get this closed up, get smoking. We'll come back in an hour and check them and probably spritz. All right, we are 1 hour into this cook on a gorgeous summer day. It's like the second day of summer today, I think. So let's go ahead and open up the Hunsaker Vortex Drum Smoker and see how our ribs are doing. Liking the looks of those. They are smelling great. And from the looks of them, I can tell we don't need to add any moisture. There's plenty of surface moisture, a lot of moisture in the chamber, which is great. So we're just going to close this up and let these keep going. I'm in no rush today. That's why I'm doing that 225 to 250 on these ribs. The Hunsaker really likes 275 as a temperature, so I've had to sort of dial the temps down a little bit by using the lower vent a little bit below the run setting, and the upper vent is between 1/4 and 1/2 inch open. So let's get this closed up and we'll come back in another hour and see how they're doing. All right, we're at the 2-hour mark. Temp's been holding really steady in that 225 to 250 range. Let's go ahead and take a look at our ribs, and we're gonna take a closer look at. We'll lift a rack out, kind of see how it's doing tenderness-wise. Man, those are looking nice. So let's go ahead and lift a rack out here. We're just getting a little bit of pullback, but not much from the bones, but I just want to do a quick probe for tenderness here. Yeah, good amount of resistance still. So I think I'm going to let these go for another hour before I glaze them. I'll see you back here in 1 hour. We are at that 3-hour mark. It is time to glaze these baby back ribs. Oh, these are looking stupendous. Is stupendous a word you can use in barbecue? I'm using it. I'm just gonna glaze them on a tray right here. Get a few off at a time. They're looking really good. Not going to bother glazing the back side here with the membrane, just this front side. These are going to be some mighty fine ribs. I just love hickory smoked baby back ribs. All right, I'm going to get this closed up and we'll let these keep smoking. We'll check them in an hour, but I think they're probably going to be done right about then. All right, we are at that 4-hour mark now. Let's go ahead and check them, but I am pretty sure these are ready. Let's get a big one up here to have a closer look. Going to do a little probing for tenderness here. Oh, yeah. That is feeling good. All right, I'm going to get these off here. We're going to get them inside and we're going to have a taste. Well, here it is, our tower of baby back ribs. 6 half racks, 3 total racks. Color just turned out perfect for me. The smell off of these is incredible. A lot of that great hickory smell, because when you have a moist environment there and you have smoke, smoke loves moisture. Those smoke particles just cling on to that. So there's a lot of good hickory smell coming off this. Hopefully the flavor's there too. But you know what? I'm going to move off 5 of these half racks and we'll go with the one on the bottom to cut into. Now, before I cut into this, I want to point out, not a mistake, but just something silly that I did that I didn't have to do. if you look back at the drum, when I have these hanging in there, there's a little sort of 3-point thing that goes on the top. That's also for hanging. That's removable. I didn't need to leave that in there, yet I left it in there, and it just blocks access because I was hanging these ribs around the outer rim. I could have taken that out. Didn't think about it. Yeah, I screw up sometimes. All right, let's roll this over and cut some ribs. Yes. Oh, look at that. That is a nice juicy rib. Now, I always say that I like my ribs bite off the bone, not fall off the bone. If you want these fall off the bone, I would go another half hour, maybe 45 minutes, and I think they'd be closer to what you like. But really, you just got to keep checking that tenderness. That's what will tell you when they're done to your satisfaction. But let's see how they taste. Wow, these turned out fantastic. That wonderful hickory smoke flavor is there. So is that honey-infused barbecue sauce that we made, that really simple doctored barbecue sauce. And that rub, that sort of smoky chili powder rub. Not too much heat, just a little bit. Loving these.